Hi guys, I can't believe we're already up to week 9 of our term 3. Today is our day 1 of getting our knowledge ready on our big book. Don't forget today's reading lesson is closely linked to our writing lesson. After you've had a look at the front cover, you will make your prediction and write it down for your writing lesson. This is our new book for the week ahead, and this is day 1 of getting our knowledge ready. Our learning intention is to use our knowledge of a book to make a prediction before reading and then again during our reading. Your success criteria is I can make a prediction about what will happen in the story. I can change my prediction after getting more information from a picture walk. So I'd like you to look carefully at the front cover and think about what you can see. Read the title with me, Mr. McGee. What do you think this story might be about based on the front cover and the title? I can see an elderly man walking underneath a gigantic apple tree. I'm not sure, but I think that maybe his bed is under the tree. Don't really know why his bed is there though. Perhaps he likes to sleep outside. But I do think he's going to slip on that apple that he's walking towards. I don't think he maybe has seen it lying there. So this story is called Mr. McGee. Now that you've seen the cover and you've read the title, make your prediction about what you think the story will be about. Pause the video here and write down your prediction for your writing session today. And then make sure to come back after you've made your prediction to do our picture walk. All right, let's do our picture walk through the book. Mr. McGee by Pamela Allen. Okay, so I can see there is a bed under the tree. And it looks like there is a man in the bed, so I'd say that's Mr. McGee, and he's got a cat on his bed. There's a table with some chairs, and it looks like maybe some food on the table under the tree, and his clothes are hanging out of the tree. Oh, looks like he's waking up for the morning, so perhaps it's morning time and he's ready to get out of bed. And he's getting dressed. He's putting on his shirt, his trousers, his socks, his shoes, a coat or a jacket, and a hat on his head. And it looks like maybe he's fed the cat as well. And this is the part where he's now walking off under the tree, and perhaps he might slip on that apple. Let's see. Oh, nope, it looks like he's seen the apple and he might be bending down to pick it up. And he's taken it back to his table, and it looks like he's eating the skin. Like he's peeled the skin off and he's eating the skin. Oh dear. It looks like it's made him grow bigger. And it looks like he's floating away. Wonder if the cat might help him. Okay, stop here. Read your prediction that you wrote down at the beginning. Do you still think that that is what's going to happen, or would you like to change your prediction? So change or add to your prediction here. You don't need to rewrite anything, but you can tell an adult. Pause the video here. Oh dear, it looks like he's got himself stuck up that tree. I wonder if he'll be able to get out of that tree. Oh, it looks like he's floating away. And it looks like the people near the church have spotted him, and he looks a little bit worried. Now all the people have come out of the church and they're chasing after him. They might be trying to help him. Don't know if they've ever seen a person flying through the air before. He looks pretty happy on this page. He doesn't look very scared, does he? And along comes a bird. The bird must be a little bit worried or concerned, thinking that there's this person flying around with him. Oh dear. He's pecking him. He's pecking him and he's making all the air come out of his body. What do you think's going to happen? I think he's going to fall. Oh look, he's falling from the sky. I hope he doesn't fall and hurt himself. Ah, he's fallen back into his tree upside down. Good thing he's above his bed so that when he falls he might land on his bed. Let's see. Right in the middle of it, it looks like he may have broken his bed. Okay, stop here. How did you go with your prediction? Do you want to change it again now or add to it now that you've seen the whole story through a picture walk? Tell an adult what you think. What words do you think you might read in this story? Remember, knowing what some of the words are before we start to read makes it a lot easier to decode throughout the text. So I think that we might read some words like apple, tree, Mr. McGee, cat, bed, walking, eating, flying, floating, pop, bird, stuck, branches. Can you think of any other words that might be in the story? Tell an adult here. Now let's read the story, and as I read, I'm going to practice using my chunky monkey reading strategy. So this is McGee. This is Mr. McGee by Pamela Allen. Mr. McGee lived under a tree. So in this word, I can see there is a tr at the start. So a digraph of tr at the start, and then at the end there is two e's, which makes the long e sound e. So if I add those together, I get tree. Mr. McGee lived under a tree. One morning he woke up and said, "It's time that I got out of bed. Bed. It's time that I got out of bed." He put on his shirt and his trousers too, then pulled on his socks. I know that CK makes the k sound in this word, so I can sound this one out using that blend and those sounds. Socks. Then pulled on his socks that were bright blue. He pulled on his shoes, then fed the cat. He didn't forget his coat or his hat. "I'm ready for anything now," sang he. "I'm brave and I'm clever, I'm Mr. McGee." Then Mr. McGee looked down and found a bright. I remember that IGHT makes the it sound. So if I add brr to it, I get bright. Then Mr. McGee looked down and found a bright red apple on the ground. He peeled it carefully, very thin. He peeled it carefully, very thin, then gobbled up the wiggly skin. Now Mr. McGee began to grow. Now Mr. McGee began to grow outwards and upwards. He seemed to go. Outwards and upwards he seemed to go. Slowly and surely up went he through the branches of the tree, over the church and over the steeple, and over the houses full of people. "Look at me," he shouted down to all the people of the town. Mr. McGee was flying high until a curious bird flew by. "Just the thing for my lunch. Just the thing for my lunch," said she, and pecked him sharply, 1, 2, 3. Down like a rock fell Mr. McGee through the branches of the tree until he landed on his head, right in the middle of his bed. Okay, I want you to compare your prediction to the actual story. So some ideas for you to share with an adult are listed. Number 1, how do you think your prediction about the story compared to the actual story that you read? So did your prediction match the actual story? Was it close to the story idea, or did it have nothing the same about it at all? Remember, it's okay if it didn't match because we were making our prediction based on one picture on the front cover. And what we've learnt about books is that sometimes the story doesn't match the picture completely, and we need to put both together to make the text work. Were there any similarities between what you predicted and what actually happened? So pause the video here and think about how your prediction compared to the real story. And that's it for today, guys. We'll be back for day 2 tomorrow. See you then.